How's it going, everyone? This is episode 11 of the SSB Wannabes podcast. My name is JD.
I'm Will. Yo, JD, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, you too, man. That picture is looking crisp. Your
Yeah,
video.
I mean, I got good lighting, a MacBook Air camera, just the basic essentials.
Yeah,
You know,
good for
always
you.
good. Yeah, how was your week, JD?
My week, let's see, it was pretty good. I had a good work week, which was cool.
Mhm.
Um, Things kind of were moving in a way that it wasn't anything mind blowing or career defining, but it was more fun than usual.
That's
Week
good.
went by quick, and yeah, just kind of kept things moving. But Smash related, nothing. I didn't get to go to any tournaments.
hmm
I keep my eye on the ball with the next installment of the variety show. That's the whole thing.
hmm
Um,
Yeah, that's coming up in like 2 weeks.
yeah, got some ideas for that, which is fun. So maybe next week we'll talk about that more because
Sounds
there's
good.
still a lot of things to work on. But
hmm
yeah, pretty low key week. Things are looking
Nice.
good. The winter's on its last legs, and
Yeah, I mean, it's been so warm lately.
mhm, I'm ready. I'm ready for spring.
Nice, nice.
Well, how about you? How you doing?
My week's been good. My week's been good. Work's been really so like last week was really busy for work, so work's been a little slower now. I still have like a lot of stuff to do, but it's more like not deadlines like right now, but deadlines like in the future. So I kind of took this week a little slower. And then um, let's see. Since we last talked, I went to so Beer Man right is in Manhattan, and he's hosting these big fests now, like by Union Square. So I went over, and literally all the Falco players were there. It was like him, Relic, Flinchy, APR, and like D Boy. Like literally, I played Falco like the whole day. I played against Falco the whole day, so I got
Yeah,
to like grind that matchup and stuff. It
a
was
lot of
super
different
fun.
good Falcos. It's fun.
Yeah, yeah, it was super fun. And then I thought, I was just working on my punish game, and trying to like kind of press my advantage more with them, and it really worked. So I was really happy with how I played. I honestly felt like I ran all the setups there, like so I felt really good against any of them. Like, and even Beerman, even his like uh kooky style, I was able to handle. So that was really nice and a good little confidence boost to like start off the week because that was like Sunday.
Mhm.
And then aside from that, just work, train. Guava's back, dude. So Guava, you remember him, the Peach player, right, from NYU?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, super good. Used to be PR'd in New Jersey. He's back, so he hit me up and we played on Wednesday, which was super fun. And so he's like slowly getting back into the swing of things. Still good, just needs to find like a better controller. I know he's having some controller problems, which is unfortunate. And then the next day, Dark Gen X hit me up, and so I went to Tasty Thursday, which you know about.
oh yeah.
And there I made a sick bracket run actually that I'm like pretty happy about, but I have like not mixed feelings, but I guess as we continue talking, you'll know more what I mean by just like other feelings on top of like being just happy with how I played and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you want to go over your sets a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. Let's just take it from the top. So round one, I played this doc named Bubbles. He was pretty solid. He was a pretty solid doc, but I kind of just like foxed him. So won that. And then in my next set, so I got a buy. So this would be winners round three. I play the Asian one, and normally our sets are close, and normally like he can definitely take me, which he did this time. So he took the set 2-1 last stock. I felt like pretty good about it. Like I wasn't really beat up after it. One, because like I know that like I've lost money matches to him before, and it's just like sort of like I money matched him twice at Hog, and he won the first one, and then I like won the second one. Like it was like a 3-0, then a 3-0 my way. And it was just like I know that he can take it. I know he like it takes me a little bit to get used to how he plays because it's a little bit odd. Very effective,
How
just
so?
odd. I feel like he just chooses certain options that I wouldn't be expecting. Like he's similar to Warmer. He does like a lot of these empty line up tilts, a lot of like just the space bear, and it's really like more a question of my like, am I gonna execute like, am I gonna like play this situation properly, versus it being like me being like stuffed or run over, and I couldn't like get a grasp of how he wanted to recover. So that was sort of like really interesting.
Right.
Like he did like a lot of side Bs just onto stage, and I just wasn't ready to punish it because I like definitely gave him more benefit of the doubt not to do that. And I was like
Yeah.
looking for like specifically looking out for like lasers from ledge and stuff like that. But when he side beyond ledge, it just sort of threw me off. And I just like
Like, wait, you mean like from ledge, just
from ledge
double
side
jump
B,
up?
yeah, it was kind
Yeah.
of weird.
Yeah.
It was super weird. It just like I wasn't ready for it. It was like my second set of the game. Like, and we got there right as the tournament started, so I didn't like this isn't like a genre or anything, but it was a very sloppy set on both sides. He SD'd sometimes, I SD'd sometimes. It was a really rough set in terms of like how sloppy it was, and I think he would agree with that.
Yeah, you
Um,
took it though, man. That's all you.
what?
You
Oh,
took
no,
it
he
though.
took it.
Oh, wait. I thought you beat him.
No,
Oh,
well, no,
so
so later
winners.
on,
Oh yeah,
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 this
yeah,
was
yeah.
winter, so he took it, and
Sorry.
then it's cool, it's cool. Just spoiled it all. So, uh, so then he took it, and then I had to make. I wasn't like I didn't feel like I had to make a losers run. I was just kind of taking it game by game. Played a Marth, played a Samus, beat both of them, and then I played Wally, or formerly known as like Momofuga, Mfuga.
Hmm.
Um,
That sounds familiar. I know he did well at Gigahog, but continue.
yeah, yeah. So he did really well at Gigahog, and then when he was this Peach, he had a really strong punish game. Just I felt like he lacked a little bit in neutral in terms of like he would down smash a lot and I would just sort of play around that. But like like so I took game one, then he took game two on FOD, and it was on Battlefield, and actually that was like so tight. Like he like hit me really hard and got a lot of like these like close zero to death situations, and I started getting nervous a little bit and took some deep breaths, and we were sort of playing at this like last stock sort of we were playing at a last stock situation where I was like at 90, he was at 90, and it was really scary.
Hmm.
um or no, I think I was like at yeah, I was a stock down, he was two stocks to one, and then I had to make a comeback, and he was at like 90, I was like 45, and I get this like I would ran in and like got this crouch on him on his dash attack and just jabbed up smashed him for like on reaction, to sort of close it. So really just a nail biter, like one of those where you kind of like reel back and
Yeah,
you're like, oh my god.
those are the good ones.
Those are the good ones. Yeah. So then what's interesting is, right, is I mean, and he's such a great player. As you said, he did really well in he topped 8 at Gigahog, which was really impressive, beating like Cess and Palika, who are very good.
Yeah.
But I think he beat Cess at least. But no, Nico beat Cess. I forgot who he beat besides Palika. But anyway, what was really good was afterwards, I found out I had to play Tempo, the Sheik, who is very good. Swedish teaches him and stuff. And then, but I stepped out for a little bit. I'm like, I need 5 minutes. And then I just I actually just meditated for about 3 minutes or so. Did my breathing exercises outside of the venue, collected my thoughts, came in, and Tempo's like one of my favorite guys in the Smash scene. Like we both love Scrubs, so whenever we see each other, we do like a Scrubs bit. I
Which
don't know
one?
if you
I love
watch.
Scrubs too. I love that show.
We do the Eagle where I'm Turk and he's JD.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, but this time I kind of like after meditating, I'm like, yo, what's good? Like we'll sit down and play. We played. I 2-0'd him. I mean, there were some unfortunate mistakes on his side. He definitely wasn't playing as clean, but I still took it thankfully. Um, I got Zelda kicked and somehow DI'd and not died on Yoshi's, so that was
What percent?
good. Like, I don't know, like I was around the 70s or something like that.
Damn. Okay.
Like I think after, so I got hit probably around like the 50s, but like it was so close to a wrong DI.
Right.
And then after that, I had to play. Who did I play afterwards? I had to play Guava, right? And I love Guava. Guava's such a homie, but there's one thing that always like is super hard for me to deal with against him, and it's that he talks during his sets.
Yeah, he does. Oh my god.
And I love him to death, but like it is very hard, especially where me, where I don't really like talking during sets, nor do I try to at least. And so he sat down. He was like, "Oh man, like, he's telling me how he like lost game 3 last stock to Itai, missed a few stitches. I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. We're really trying to like cut the conversation and
Yeah.
start the game.
Yeah.
So then we sat down, we played, and he actually almost zeroed to death me. He made a mistake, and he was like floating underneath the stage, and I was just like, I'm gonna take this and shine. And so I took it because why not? It's it's tournament.
Right.
And then from there, I'm like, funny enough, I missed a ledge dash, so it's just 3 stocks to 3. But he was tilted and I wasn't, and I just ran with that. So I'm like, he's talking, he's like, oh my god, this is bullshit, whatever, whatever, and I'm like, I am not gonna let up on the pressure. I'm gonna make him feel more tilted. That was my whole strategy. Like I was like just playing the Peach matchup, but anytime he tried to move in, Nair in his face, bear
Why
in his
not?
face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really played to his emotions, which was really interesting. And then after that, I had my rerun against Asian one, 2-0, beat him. Close set again, just like I made the adaptations like I did with like my money match at Hog. Really, that gave me a lot of confidence where I'm like, look, I money matched you before, you took it, then we money matched again, I took it. The same thing will happen. Did that. Then like finally got to Itai and I started recording matches. Then so both of them uh against Itai it's recorded thankfully on my channel. And then we played and I was so nervous. Like it was unlike anything else where I like my hands felt almost like where your hands feel like slow and like in water and like you're just
Yeah.
not hitting the right things
Yeah.
and
Scary.
stuff like that. Made a lot of mistakes. I think I got rested something like 4-5 times in the first 3 games.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. But I took so he took game 1, I took game 2. Game 3 he rested me, and then like finally after that I like sort of calmed down, realized I was just in the set, and I started playing the way I wanted to. Um, but then and in game 2, obviously Pokemon just carried me because that stage is broken.
Yep.
And then game 3 I took actually from him from Dreamland. So despite being down early, I took Dreamland. Game 4 he takes it. And then game 5 he's like not approaching me at all on Final Destination. And I just had one read on him, which is like I know where he's gonna land, but he wasn't contesting me. He wasn't approaching at all. So I kind of just went full like, just like all right, like you won't approach me, I'll just take this. And so I just laser damaged him till 70, overshot my grab, got him like 3 times for it, and that's sort of like
Nice.
how the set went. But it was sort of like that set was really crazy because I had to like I was so nervous in the beginning and I had to really bring it back, or not bring it back. Like I was never down and out in the games, but just more so like just compose myself. And then after that, I played hacks, recorded that too, but I got washed unfortunately. I think it was a mix of being outclassed unfortunately and also running a little bit out of juice.
Yeah.
Like definitely wasn't hitting the punishes I wanted to. It's something I'm going to be grinding more this week, but
Fox on Fox
overall it was
punish.
really good. So that's my run at Tasty, and honestly, like that's probably the best run I've had.
It's a
If you think
really
about
good
it, it's
run. Yeah, that's a lot of good wins.
yeah. Like I think if you think about it, it's a really solid run, especially with um. I don't think I've gotten second at an event, honestly. Like I can't remember the last time I got second at an event.
Especially yeah,
So
especially with those that many hard hitters. You were seeded 7th.
I was seeded seventh, so I beat the 10th set. Let's see. I beat because I have the bracket open just in case we had any questions. So I lost to the Asian one who was the 10 seed, and then I beat the 5th seed, 9th seed, 6th seed, 10 seed, and 2nd seed.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Itai was 2nd seed.
Itai was second. Yeah,
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 that's amazing, man. That's a really good tournament.
yeah. I'm really happy with it. I just feel a little weird about it, just because um I don't know, like this is before like we can get to the point where like I told you where Hacks just said some stuff to me after the set,
Yeah,
after the tournament.
want to talk about that,
But
or do you want to wait?
I'll wait. I'll just do it in chronological order.
Sure.
So like the one weird thing is outside of you and like my girlfriend and like one of my close friends from college, I really didn't tell anyone that this happened. Um and it was just a weird feeling because I'm in the car. Normally you'll do like a tweet or something. Like I normally like I think old me I would do like a tweet being like, "Oh, second at Tasty Tuesday, thought I played really well." Like GG's to everyone I played or whatever, right? Some anime quote inserted in there, and I was just on my phone, like writing back, and I'm like, something about it just was like, I don't want to tweet this out for some reason. And I thought it was so interesting, where I felt like I was like, what's the point of me tweeting this out so people know how I did? Like, I know I did well, and like I felt like that was good enough for me,
Yeah.
like, and sort of I still feel like that. Like I still haven't really told anyone about it.
Yeah.
So
I
that
mean, where does the value come in? Is a good placing like just for us to push out our brand and our tag, you know? Like, is that all
mhm.
we care about? And that's not saying, if you did tweet it out, that's what you'd be thinking. But there's like this constant thing of, do we want to share our successes, or do we just want to like have them?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And it was like not something where it's like, oh man, if I tell people, like they'll expect more out of me, because quite frankly, like I doubt that. But it wasn't like a fear of that. It was just like, who cares if like my Twitter followers know, like I don't care that they know. It's not gonna change like the fact that I know I did well and I'm really happy about it. But I also still think like part of me honestly thought like this is sort of just the beginning, like this
Sure.
is there. Why tweet about the starting line?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and like that's sort of how I felt. And it's sort of, we go back right to that Daigo quote we said like a few episodes back about the 60% happiness. And I feel like I understand it a little bit more now also, where it's just like I go back and I'm like, I did well, I'm happy about it. I still got rocked against Hacks, and Hacks is someone I want to beat, and I know I can beat him on a day, and I can get better enough to challenge him. And I think, the work's not done. And, and that's sort of how I felt.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because like Hax was just such a dominant force that might have put a damper on the mood a little bit. I know it's like you never expect to beat him because he's one of the best players, but
Hmm.
um, for whatever, I mean, it's not just him either. It's like whenever I remember the times that I would get second or third, losing to like the top two. But if I didn't
Hmm.
feel like I had a good run at those players, um, like there was even a tournament where I did really well. Like I picked up my best wins, but then when I played J Flex, he just kind of like whopped me, and
Hmm.
that, and then I ended up getting second, and just that was like, I couldn't I couldn't beat him. Like that's what's important. Like I need to be able to beat this guy. So I, it kind of stinks, but it's probably the healthier thing in the long run. Like
Yeah, I
it's
think
probably
it's
easier to become a champion after always placing second rather than always placing first.
yeah, and I think it's good. Like I think it's good, and but it's not just like the me getting like outplayed by Hacks. I think it's more so being like, I saw where he was in the moment, and I was just, I guess, somewhat, no, not somewhat, just subconsciously thinking like, like that's the level I want to be playing at in this pressure in that moment. And there's so much to work on still that like I shouldn't be celebrating. And I think celebrating and being acknowledging are two different things, you know? Like I was like, I acknowledge I did well and I'm really happy about it. It really, I think, pieced a lot of the things I've been working on over the last few months. But it's just, is only the start, is how I see it.
Yeah, and
Like there's
then
still more to climb.
you also had another tournament coming up. You had Hog. Like, were you planning on going to Hog?
I can't, I didn't go to Hog just because
Oh, you didn't go.
that day was reserved for the girlfriend.
I was mistaken. You
Yeah.
guys have a nice time.
Yeah, it was good. It was really relaxing. We
Cool.
just had a little date day. But what I wanted to talk about was actually Hax told me something which sort of further cements my feelings about the tournament, which was, he was like, "Hey, I think today was like the first time where, like I've seen you as a player before, and normally you have this sort of casual vibe to you, like at tournaments, and it seemed that this was the first time where you were someone that thought he could take thought and wanted to take the tournament, you
Yeah,
know?
I like that.
And it was like almost this like weird even better compliment and also a dig at me at the same time where it was just like like I like it just gave me so much to think about and I don't know how to react to it yet, and that I think that's okay, but it's just like was like it's interesting because told me what he thought of me before, and even though I was working hard and stuff like that on game day I wasn't showing up,
Yeah,
and that's important thing. And this time like I didn't talk to people, I ignored people, I'm like, hey, thanks, I'm gonna walk out and like do my own thing before the next match, like.
yeah,
And it really felt like I wanted to take the tournament, and I thought I could, like I didn't get to hacks and be like, oh, okay, this is hacks. I was like, all right, this is hacks. I got to play well, but I can do it.
yeah,
And I thought that was like such a weird, honestly, great commentary on the day, more than rather than just a compliment.
yeah. And not even like, oh, you were doing like you had great pivot grabs today. Like it was you set. It's something more tangible, something more like in your control of just your attitude of the tournament. That's why I like
Yeah.
it. That's why I liked hearing it so much because um, it's someone who's been not only like an amazing player, but like such a um, he's been around competition and so
Hmm.
many top level players that he knows what works and what doesn't. And him giving you that compliment was him pretty much saying like keep, you know, going along this path. Keep
Yeah.
taking tournaments as seriously as you did today, and you'll probably replicate that success.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like he wasn't even saying like to replicate the success. It was almost just like, like this was sort of like the first step, like you were a true competitor today,
Yeah,
almost like, and it was like, and this is a guy that washed me on Thursday, unfortunately, like I hate to admit it, just I know it's true, and it's just like still him hearing him say that, and I think the more I think about it is that I don't know, it's just a perfect commentary on day because it wasn't even saying about, as you said, about skill or anything. It was about the mentality and like being prepared. And what's crazy is that he sort of still outdid me in that department. The guy actually, so I'm like, hey, I have my recording set up here. Do you mind if we sit over there? He goes, yo, like actually, like I haven't left this chair since since the tournament started, so I kind of want to finish it here. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I move my recording setup and stuff like that. But like the guy didn't move till from the tournament start to the tournament end. He
he
sat down, played,
he went.
continued playing friendlies, and then when his match came, played his matches.
Oh my god, that's like that's almost a legendary story. But he's
Yeah.
also probably done that more than 20 times in the past.
Yeah, I mean it's common, but it felt like like you hear those like Kobe stories, or like I think it was Kobe where it was like some guy was telling him that he was like, okay, like I'm facing against Kobe today. I'm gonna go in early. I normally like going in early, but I went in extra early and to just warm up before the game. I see Kobe on the court, and I go, so I play. So we practice. After an hour, I like, okay, I'm gonna cool down before the game, right? And Kobe's still on the court for like another hour, and the guy's like, when is this guy gonna leave?
Yep.
And like, when is Kobe gonna be finished with warming up? And then Kobe washes him during the game, and the guy goes like, yo, you gotta tell me like what were you thinking? And he goes, look, with that practice session, I just want to show you that like whether or not how long you work out, I'll last longer.
Wow.
And you're like, fuck, like you really just got me. And I felt like even with Hax's comment about me, like he still outdid me. Yeah, with that focus also, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
There was so much focus. Yeah, so that's my week. I mean, it was overall like a really good week. I'm excited for to just keep playing. I feel like I don't know whether I'm like fiending more because I did well or because I just I don't know. I feel a little hungrier now, I guess,
Just in
as a
general.
competitor. Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good.
Yeah.
It's a good time to start getting hungry again. I mean, I always bring up the winter, but it's the off season for Melee.
Hmm.
Um, there was Genesis, of course, but now once the weather gets better, the locals are going to start coming up more. People are going to be
Hmm.
more likely to travel um,
Yeah.
as it goes into late spring into summer. That's when um, we're going to be able to play the most and for
Hmm.
the most at stake. And everyone else is going to be warm too. So there's good Melee coming up. It's a good time to
Yeah,
be
I mean
hungry.
March is gonna be a big month, so but I'm just excited to play, honestly. And like
Are we teaming at See Me on Land?
I wanted to ask you about that. I think we should talk about it after the show. It depends on like travel plans and stuff like that.
Right. That'd be cool if we could travel up. It's not a bad
Yeah,
drive. Albany. It's what, hour and a half, two
yeah,
hours.
yeah. It's 2 hours. It shouldn't be bad. I'm pretty much down.
Sweet.
Um, and then yeah, I mean aside from that, the only other interesting thing about the week is, I got to hear Hax's like thoughts on competition stuff like that on the car ride back, and like almost like his view on mentality, parts of his view on mentality. I think he obviously lives and breathes the game
Right.
and competition itself. So, but hearing him talk about it and talk about like the ideas of like the fact that as a competitor, you'll just keep, like what it means to lose, what it means to win. Like hearing, I hung out with Hacks a lot this week, also because I hung out with him on Friday, and I think the more I like am around him, I realize how much of a true competitor he is.
Yeah.
Like his mentality and everything like that is really fine tuned for improvement. And I guess being around that sort of made me realize I could be, I'm doing well, but you know, I want to do better.
Yeah. I mean, it's also kind of what works for him. We always talk about like the individuality of it, what
Hmm.
you have to do for yourself. But someone like him, I think there's so much to learn from in and out of the game that. But it's tricky because also both in and out of the game, I feel like he's so singular of a person. He's so
He
unique.
he is very, yeah.
So like his Fox is no one can play like his Fox, and
No,
no
not at
one
all. Yeah.
you don't need to do well first, but like you can't like the amount of turnaround shield stops and just like back airs for spacing, like
Hmm.
we can't do that. We're not going to do that the same to any level of effectiveness.
Hmm.
We're also probably not tuned to sitting in a chair for 4 hours just playing the game in the same chair. But
Hmm.
the ideas of what is happening, like what his Fox is doing, is purposeful movement and microspacing. Everyone can learn from those, and the ideas of staying in the tournament and being competitive and having your eyes on the prize and having that spirit. I'm sure there's so many more things that you absorbed from that carb ride that I can't even imagine. But um, that's really cool to kind of get exposure to that um, in one, or was it 2 days straight? You said 2 days in a row
Yeah.
you hung out.
It was 2 days in a row
Yeah,
because I was like with him a little bit on Friday too after work, and yeah,
he's
like
a champion, man. He's someone to learn from.
he is, yeah, he is definitely, and I think it's something where it's like, right, you either see those players and you're like, all right, like I gotta hang with them, or like I can't do it, right? And I definitely felt the first more so.
Yeah, I I don't know any other players that scare me the same way as Hex in tournament. Like if I were to play against, I feel like I have a shot
Hmm.
against so many most other New York City
Hmm.
players. Um, like Swedish scares me equally, but he's chic, so even then it's like okay, maybe I could like be the fox that you know. For some reason,
Yeah,
Hacks is like I don't know. We could sit here and just talk about how much we love Hacks all day.
yeah, I definitely know how you feel. I think the only reason I feel differently about it is because I've actually taken a set from him at one point.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, like about like last year. I was like, funny enough, it was our only set in the season, so I was actually had a winning record on him for the season.
Nice.
But yeah, I just didn't do too well in like other aspects to get PR'd, but I've like beaten him before, and obviously he's a much different player now than he was then,
Right.
as he becomes more and more familiar and with the box, and more his time is just as a player rather than as a developer of a product. But
Yeah.
I think part of it is that I think it's important to realize, like, you can take, you can still take it. I guess because I hear him talk about top players, and I hear him, I hear his opinions and stuff like that. And in the end, like, he holds himself as, like, he knows he can beat anyone, and that's sort of
Yeah.
still like the belief that's almost so simple but so hard to actually believe, right? It's like almost the answer to anything, right? Is that thinking that you're better, right? You can do it. But that sort of like unshakable confidence is something that isn't easy to get.
Yeah. I wonder how much of that is kind of borrowed in advance of actually achieving the confidence, like the fake it till you make it approach. Um,
I actually believe I don't think it's anything fake about it.
I mean, at this level, no. I'm saying on the way up to that, I'm
Oh.
wondering if there is kind of a slingshot sort of mentality of like place your confidence further ahead than where you actually are, and
Hmm.
then see if that helps bring you to that point.
So.
Kind of
Mhm.
like, you know, projecting your success, um,
Mhm.
and then having it manifest into the world.
I think from my understanding of it, and of course this is just my interpretation of my, like, hearing him talk about it. So these aren't his words, but it's just more so like I thought that he got it because he knew that when he was playing the best, one, that he's capable of playing better, more smart, more technical, perfect, not perfect, because the one biggest change is that he's not a perfectionist anymore, which is really good.
Good. He needed that.
But he still believes he can play at the highest peak melee possible on any given moment in time, right? Not right now, not ever, but when he, like, for example, when we think about Pound 2016, do we think about Mango versus HBox? No, we think about Hacks versus Nintendo. That's the iconic set
Yeah.
from that tournament. And we think about, so I think he believes in, for a while has, like, knowing that he's capable of that. And I think it springboards from there, and knowing that he is capable of playing better melee than anyone else, right?
Right.
And that.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to take that and use it for myself and say,
Mm,
okay, how do I achieve a level of confidence that will benefit me? Not
mm,
necessarily the same confidence, because that's kind of a delusion to think that I could beat the best players in the world, because that's unrealistic. But a level of confidence that says I could beat anyone in this room when it might not necessarily be true. Like, and I'm just talking on the margins here. I'm saying, like, obviously the practice will get me to that point, and over time as I improve, I'll get more confident. I'm just wondering if I could harness that sort of champion mentality, if I could adopt it, um, just through willpower instead of naturally getting to that point.
mm,
Um, and then
mm,
getting to, like, it, it's it's something I've done before, but it would turn into ego, and then it would get messy, and then I would
mhm.
start, then it kind of spins down. But um, I think confidence is a thing that you could kind of will onto yourself, that you could pretend to have, and then have it be a net positive. But maybe not.
True.
Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the issue is that, right, we talked about this idea of confidence, right? But confidence, it has so many factors on it, and I think going back to what I talked about with Mind Games with Weldon was this idea of confidence versus confidence versus competence. And I think part of it is that Hacks also mentioned, like, he thinks to be the best player, it's like you need to have, like, obviously a certain level of nuttiness, but you need to understand the game. And I think he draws it from knowing that he understands the game better than almost any other player in the world.
Hmm.
Like, he knows the frame data, he knows what's optimal for characters outside of Fox, right? It's not just Fox specific.
Yeah.
And he's labbed it out, he's tested it, he has his own theories, and he's able to not just have his own theories, but he's able to dismiss his own ideas when he realizes it's wrong, right? And I think this idea of where you want this confidence, it's also this idea of competence. Like when I sort of walked in on on Tasty Thursday, I knew I was like I was playing. I played Itai for some friendlies, and I'm just like like not just like I can beat him, but like like I'm locked in. Like he might underestimate him. I'm not gonna underestimate him. Or
Yeah.
he might underestimate me. I won't.
Yeah.
I know what he's capable of, but I know I can do it. Right. And I think it's this idea of like it's different for everyone. Like for me, I really think I feel the best when I know I've put in the work for it. And so I can't really do that faking sort of mentality.
Right.
But I think that's just my version of it.
Yeah. Um, I think where I'm really trying to nail it down is not even that melee related. It's
Mm.
mostly it's more on the content side of.
Okay.
I could give you a perfect example, and this goes into
All right.
something I did last night. Um,
All right. Yeah. Let's go for it.
so I'm working on a video similar to the one I did for Genesis, but I'm doing it
Mm-hmm.
for Frostbite, so with Ultimate. And so part of that was yesterday. I was watching. I was doing multi Twitch, and I was watching and trying to pick up a lot of clips. And at one point, I don't know if you weren't watching at all, were you?
I watched a little bit of Frostbite.
Yeah, there was one point where on both streams there was a game 5 situation. So
Oh,
ZD
was it
versus Ad.
the Game and Watch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
then he went
Okay.
Samus the next game, and then
Oh,
it
okay. Yeah.
was DeBuzz. No, was it Shuton? I don't know. It
The
was
the Buzz or Shoot On. It was Shoot On.
Shuton Olimar
Yeah.
versus
But
that
what were you
Bayonetta.
saying? Yeah.
So those were both happening at the same time. And I turned on my recorder and I was just recording both. And then it turned out to be a really funny interaction where one game ended and then Coney and EE were commentating on one stream. They were commentating the other stream's
Yeah.
match.
Yeah. I watched you put that on Twitter or something.
Yeah, I put on Reddit.
Mm, okay.
Um, and so as I was doing that, like the idea came, and I just thought, okay, can I edit this video to just be a good piece of content, just something that exists, not for anything else besides this is what I have. Let me see if I have the skills to put this out tonight. Like, can I
Mm-hmm.
do it? Um, and so I started, and at one point I was gonna just give up because I realized that it wasn't that great. It was just like a little cheeky thing. My mouse went in sometimes. Um, but I think the first initial reaction that I had was this thought of this is going to blow up. This is going to be the biggest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to explode. And it wasn't anything I latched onto. It was just that first reaction of this idea is the best idea in
Mm-hmm.
the planet.
Yeah.
So that is sometimes what I need to kind of push myself into getting work done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Thinking that I can, I have a major coming up, I can go there and get enough wins to make top 100. Just that idea, even though it's still
Mm-hmm.
possible, it's just that burst of confidence I kind of ride out until a week later maybe the confidence is gone, but I used that to put work in, and I practiced or I studied or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it may be. I did something good for me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm trying to really find. I'm trying to find opportunities to be as confident as possible, so that the work that I'm doing doesn't just seem like it's delusional. It's a self-imposed delusion of
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen. I mean, it's the reason why we do any of this is for me to find this great source of satisfaction or um,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the feeling is of picking up the best win. It's chasing that, and if it's not in front of you, I feel like there needs to be some sort of lie that we tell ourselves to make it seem worth it.
Mm.
But I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to be that black and white. Maybe it could just be, stay calm, keep your head down, do the work, and be happy when things come.
Hmm. I don't know. I think it's tough. I mean, it seems like you react more like that than I do, so it's hard
Mm.
for me to relate in that aspect, you know?
Yeah.
But I think you can pivot it to, you've made good content before. And you never know. It's like right, like we both love Gary Vee, right? Gary Vee always tells every musician just release it. You don't know which one's going to be big. And I think that idea of like this could be the next one or this is the next one, and to keep doing that I think isn't wrong. I think that's actually really good. You
Yeah.
know.
Because
And I think
I need a
the
push, you know?
yeah, and I think this honestly goes back to my pin tweet, which is just an anime quote, usual Wasabi stuff. But I really love it, and it's something that I always think about and the way I view it. And I want to hear your thoughts on it without me like sort of explaining anything. So it's this volleyball anime, right? And um, it's just a standard sports anime, right? And so it goes. It's just pin tweet is today might be the day to grasp the chance to let your talent bloom. And I'm just curious to like hear your thoughts on it.
Today's the day that you might
T-
have the
today
chance.
might today might be the day to grasp the chance to let your talent bloom.
Wow. So it's a kind of like a self real actualization type thing, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
we're
exactly.
today might be. I like that. I like it. Today might be the day because you never know, but unless you give it a shot, it's not gonna. It's not. It's definitely not gonna happen,
Yeah,
right? I think it says a lot of kind of it captures your essence for sure. It's a good pin tweet. I like that.
I think it matches me really well, to be honest.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I like it. It's inspiring. I forgot it already, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'll just repeat it again. Today might be the day to grasp the chance to let your talent bloom.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
nice.
think, yeah, it's nice. But I think the confidence that you're thinking about is like this idea that like there's two types, right? The you can do this, you can this might like I think one is like the a more introspective confidence where it's like you're good enough to do this. You're good enough to make good content. You're good enough to get these top 100 wins. You're good enough to be ranked, right? And you're good enough to beat the people in the room, right? And this other one where that's like more introspective, but I think this acknowledgement of like also like that in turn of like you don't know what's gonna happen that day is like still make grounds you, right? Because it is to a certain extent delusion, but there you need to have like I think something that equally grounds you at the same time, you know?
Yeah, because if you're gonna if one is to believe that they can put something out or do something that's so amazing, so earth shattering,
Mm.
it is satisfying and is good work. And then it comes out to not be like that. Moral of the story of what I was saying before, I put the video out, it got 7 upvotes and got drowned. And
Mm-hmm.
so I go, okay, obviously not a winner. But then I watched it again and I go, you know what? I did it, Like I made this in a couple hours. I struggled a little bit. I looked up how to do some editing things, so I learned more. Um, and so today wasn't the day. It
Yeah,
wasn't
exactly.
it
Yeah.
wasn't this amazing video that I thought it was, but it doesn't matter because I'm I still got some intrinsic value out of it. I still got to work on one video, had an idea and followed that
Push
idea
the
to
content out.
execution, like
Yeah.
completely finished it. And then I still have that one thing I was working on. So it was a new thing because if I hadn't been doing the videos I have been doing, even this podcast has helped me, um, sharpen my editing skills to an
Yeah.
extent. Um, and so I think today or maybe a week ago marks the day, like the 1 year anniversary of me having this computer and having the tools
Mm-hmm.
to do editing and videos.
Yeah.
Um, and so it feels really good to know I could just put a cute little thing together if I wanted to, and that ideas that come to me, um,
Mm-hmm.
I can just execute them off the bat. I don't have to go through a long process, or I don't have to give up on them. So there's that value out of it, and that's why I'm not too concerned about this whole confidence thing. It seems like it's just
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
come. It's just gonna come with
It seems
time.
like yeah, and it seems like you're getting more confident. Like
Yeah,
knowing you from beforehand, like this is definitely different, from before.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's fun shit. I mean, part of the reason I'm liking Ultimate so much is from a content perspective. There's so many
Hmm.
things like this, like the doors have completely opened, I feel, to
Yeah.
the type of stuff I want to do. Um, so now it just becomes like, all right, just pick one idea and roll with it.
Run. Yeah, run with it.
Yeah, and stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. Stop worrying about. One of the things I actually had like a little writing session yesterday
Hmm.
that went a little longer than I expected, and I kind of unearthed some ideas that I didn't
Hmm.
think I had, but this whole idea of putting things out there, um, releasing work, um, especially
Hmm.
like artistic or comedic work,
Hmm.
um, it's really strange because I feel like it's what I want to do, but there's always this like turbulence that happens, um, like 50% to 75% into a project where
Hmm.
um, the idea I had isn't being executed exactly the way I expected it to. So pretty much um, my taste is still at a higher level than my skill. I can't
Yeah.
quite do what I want to do.
Hmm.
And I'm sure like every melee player can relate to this. Our skill is not at our knowledge. Like we know what we're supposed to do, we just aren't capable
Hmm.
of doing it 100% of the time.
Hmm.
But when you create let's say a blog post or a video with my thoughts into it, um, there comes a time where I start double thinking, double second guessing, double thinking, second guessing
Double.
myself, just based on like having a different attitude than when I first started. It's
Hmm.
this weird hump that comes in every single time I do something creative that takes me out of flow and makes me reevaluate. I need to like just recenter myself and then push through.
Hmm.
And it's a universal thing that's that happens in like in my work day. Um, happens in the shower sometimes. Like if I'm just like bathing myself and I slow down and just get sidetracked, like I can't just
Hmm. Yeah.
finish something straightforward. I don't know. It's just been haunting me a little bit. So um, I don't know how I got to this point, but that's what's on my mind. That's what I've been
Yeah,
thinking
of
about
course.
lately.
Yeah, and like when you think about like putting yourself out there, like every time we go to tournament, we are putting ourselves out there.
Yep.
And it's sort of this weird thing where it's like, yeah, we are stepping to the spotlight, but I think the reason why it's so weird, right, is because like society wise, I think like people are you sort of grow up thinking like, you want to be like everyone else, you want to be normal or whatever, right? Like teenage angst stuff, right? Right. But I think the thing is like when people are like, oh, I don't want to stand, like people don't want to stand out normally a lot of times, both in good ways and in bad ways, right? And it's sort of weird. Like we're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
And I think it's like that is like a thing, like stepping into the spotlight. Like what's funny is when I was playing Itai during the set, I remember hearing Clutch talking about how he like took like $20 from me in like four money matches, at the last time we played. and I was just thinking like, that's fine, but like, you're probably happy that you dodged me. Not dodge it. Asian one beat him, and like I was hoping to play clutch, but I was just like, like, all right, I'll get you next time, but like, I'm playing Itai right now,
Yeah.
and you're out. And like, he's a good friend of mine. Like, he's a good friend of mine, but like, I mean, and I could be hearing it wrong, but that's like what I thought I heard. When you hear people whispering in the back while you're playing, and I think it's sort of this thing where it's just like getting used to that sort of feeling. Like, people are watching you. People watch what you do. As a content creator, it's obvious. As a player, I think it's less obvious, but it's still equally good to remember.
Yeah, and that comes up, definitely comes up in gameplay, um, of losing track of what you're doing. It comes up for me
Hmm.
if I do something that I think is really cool or creative or
Yeah.
successful. Like if I pull off a zero to death or a cool edge guard, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Um, if you play on stream, there's the idea of like, oh, maybe someone clipped that, and then there's like this weird. It's all ego. It's all
Hmm.
us wanting to be noticed and appreciated,
Yeah.
but that takes us out of what we're doing. And I think the
Hmm.
real champions are the people that are unfazed, that can't even remember sometimes when they do cool things.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
if you have to stop for a second and put that into your mind, then you're taking up brain power. You're taking up space that should be completely open for, it should be open RAM for when you're playing. It shouldn't be
Hmm.
used to download something that just happened.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's just always hard to remember sometimes. And I think yeah, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it,
Yeah,
right?
it's a practice. It's I'm not even close to it. I have to
Mhm.
sit here and kind of talk through it, and hopefully talking through it works. Um,
Yeah.
it's always good to kind of
I mean,
vocalize
you're
problems.
pushing out consistent content though on a weekly basis.
Not quite. I'm trying to get there. That's the next goal.
Well,
But
if you count the podcast, it
there you go.
is
Oh, you're right.
you're already doing it. Like, but that's the thing is you don't, you're already doing it. Like, sure you can do more, but it's not like you're already not pushing out content.
It's
And
true.
me, like, I'll remind you to push it out.
Yeah, you will. It's true. The like the vlogs.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, you got it yet? uh,
Yeah,
but yeah,
but I'm not. I don't know. I'm still in a good spot. I looking forward to um just March. I'm looking forward to the
Mhm.
next month coming up.
Yeah,
See me on land. It's gonna be cool to see all the
the
upstate
variety
people
show.
and the variety show too. That's our second one. We have
Hmm.
some fun ideas, and
Yeah.
so next week let's talk. Let's just talk a little bit about this video idea. Are we gonna go through
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Okay, so we need to figure out the day. We might need to reschedule the day,
That's totally fine.
but yeah, the bar idea.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'll need to talk to like the bar and stuff. I'll hit them up. Like, probably I'll take a cab to Beer Man's place after this. I'll call them during the car ride.
But it's gonna have to happen, man. Like it's
Yeah, it's
such a
gonna have
fun
to happen.
idea. I'm gonna be in the city anyway, so I could just like swing by,
Yeah,
knock out
yeah,
a cute little video. I mean,
and that's on Sundays, right?
yeah,
Okay, all right,
starting next week. Got my
that's good.
last improv class.
That's gonna
Dude,
be fun.
that could be big because if I get good enough to audition for a team, I'm eligible to do that after this class. So in a couple months,
Hmm.
um, there's a non-zero chance that I get on a UCB improv team,
Oh
and
wow,
I'll get
that would
to
be really good.
perform once a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can start getting good at
I'll
that.
stop by.
Yeah. Oh my God. Of course, I'm gonna
You know
invite
I'm going to.
everyone I know in New York City to come see that shit.
That's gonna be hype.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Oh, man.
What
I feel
else?
like overall, like the theme of this week has just been like we're getting there. Just like there's still so much more to do.
Yeah, but it's optimistic. I think.
It is no, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just
Right.
saying
Not quite
I
there.
feel like both of us are like wholeheartedly like so openly aware of like what needs to be done more.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think we both had We both had
Pretty good week.
successes.
Yeah.
Like you had really good wins. I had a little less than. I think making a little videos is maybe more of like a fourth place. I think I had a big kid week.
I don't know. I think it's a personal victory. Again, it's about acknowledging success,
Yeah,
rather than like celebrating it. You don't have to celebrate it, but call a spade and say you did a good job. You
I'll give
pushed out a
myself the FGC nod. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I think
you know,
I think people forget about that. A lot of people focus on like black and white or placings or what people think, but like
yeah,
you think you did a good job, then that's something in itself.
yeah. And I'm that much better at editing now, so that when we do our video, it'll be
Or when it comes to another time to do a video.
yeah. I think this frostbite video could be really fun. There's so
Yeah,
much there. There's so much there.
there's so much there. Yeah, I think I'd be curious. Are you gonna do it like in the same Genesis 6 format or the review of Long Island format?
Oh, the Long Island review was, um, I don't know. Probably the Genesis format. I want to make it tight, and I want to make as many jokes as possible in as few minutes as possible.
Or sounds good.
So that's my end goal is to um, just really tighten up across the board,
hmm
and maybe it'll make the music less loud.
Yeah, the music I thought was a little loud.
That was just a
I
oversight.
think I think though the one thing is I like the speed that you did the Long Island thing at. Like it was like a little quicker.
Yeah,
I think even if you don't do the same sort of type of humor, because Long Island I think is more fitting for that also.
hmm
I think you could do like I think you want to make it like this super review sort of thing where it's like boom 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 boom.
yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Just get that quickness.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I really think you have good taste and good criticism.
Thanks.
When you watched it and you totally outlined everything I thought was wrong with it, and then a few things that I didn't think about, which was really good.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
couldn't
awesome.
tell you exactly what was what, but I remember really liking the critique.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, send me your Frostbite video when you like whether you want to do it after or before you release it. I'll watch it for sure.
Yeah, maybe I'll send you a rough draft.
Yeah, for sure.
Got my writing buddy here now. Sweet.
Yeah.
So do you want to do a quick shout out for Lint, and then
Yeah, yeah, we got to.
dude, I ruined it. Oh my god.
Okay, so JD ruined it, but shout outs to Lint God. He got the tag wrong
You're
too.
right. Yeah, people didn't know until you said
You
that.
little fucker.
That's so stupid.
But yeah, so shout out to Link God, dude. He killed it at Hog. He had a sick run. He got second, unfortunately, losing to Hacks, who's been on the grind on it, obviously. But I think what was most impressive when I watch his sets is the resiliency and sort of that mental fortitude that we haven't necessarily seen from him,
Yeah,
right?
that's been the one big thing that's killed him in the past.
Yeah, and I think it really shows growth as a player, and it's not something I think you can know by looking at the bracket. I was watching this run live, and Nico brings him to game 5, and then he takes off. He looks like a completely different player game 5, just running Nico over. Sorry Nico, but like besides that one cool combo Nico got on him on Yoshi's, Lint was all over him like white on rice. And to be able to be that aggressive also against like someone who like has this really solid punish game like Nico, I think is really impressive. Against Big Kid was mounting a reverse 3-0, right?
It
Like
was
hot off the
close.
wins on against beating Calvar and stuff like that. And he kind of clutched it out. Not like clutched it out like last stock, but like really game 5 again composed himself and took it out. And
It was a
then
two stock, right?
the what?
Game five was a two stock, if I remember correctly, or like a
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. You just
yeah, something like a
yeah.
two stock. But he like started calling out like all the movements, all stuff, and it was just good adaptation and really shows I think growth of not just an emotional strength, but also just an intelligence wise, like another buff, just because he was outplaying him in situations that I think he might have tripped up at, like when he lost to Big Kid, like in the past, right?
hmm
And it's always scary when you like are facing someone who's mounting a reverse 3-0 and you know that they've beaten you before, right? That's always so scary. And then I think the other thing is that then Tuesday he goes down 2-0 and then brings it back and reverse 3-0s too. And I think
reverse 3-0s Tuesday.
I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah. I want to like I would bet money that he did it. That's, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I would bet I'm like 90% sure on this one.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that was really incredible too, So I think it just really shows growth as a player for Lin, and honestly deserves the shout out for the week. Deserves bringing back the shout outs for the week. That's the sort of the performance that merits a shout out, right? Because we haven't done one in a while, just because there hasn't really been one to been like a good tri-state player that we wanted to shout out for. But definitely that one deserves it. So good shit, Lin.
And it's good.
Lint God.
It's good to see Lint do well at a regional. We're still good to see Lint God do well at a regional. It still goes to show that he's like just a devastating player. I don't think anyone's been sleeping on him recently, but
no one
like
has
he didn't.
No one does anymore.
He didn't get the top 100 spot. He was so close. Like he's probably 102, 103. Like just right up there. But at nationals, he's still gonna it's just bubbling up. Like he's gonna have that one big performance. He's gonna beat like Shroomed or something weird, or he's gonna do something.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes off on a West Coast player. But
that's what I would expect. Yeah,
it's coming. It's coming soon.
In theaters near you.
To a Lint God theater near you. But anyway, yeah, good stuff. Tyler, good dude, good player.
Yeah. Sick play. Definitely was hoping for a reset, but next time.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the Hacks game. We don't have to.
What game?
Yeah, exactly. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
No final thoughts. It's just been I think it's been a good week for both of us. I think much to work on, but much to be happy about too.
Yeah, let's just keep it going, man. Let's keep these good vibes into the spring. The weather's only going to get nicer.
Yeah, and maybe some talents will bloom then.
Even if we don't do a video Sunday, let's try to, maybe we could grab a drink anyway. Just hang out quickly. I don't know if you're available.
Yeah. I'll figure out what the plan is with my girlfriend and stuff like that, because she's working Saturday, so we'll see. I want to meet up though. I want to meet up.
All right, cool. I'm down. All right. So yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah.
And
follow us on all of our channels.
Yeah, you should see it on the screen, but if not, you could
I want to do the cool YouTube thing where it's like up here, and then mine's down here, and then JD's is over there. Yeah.
Cool. That was a cool YouTube.
I want to do the cool thing where it looks real, where it's like, be sure to click on this link over here, and then it's like, boom.
You're gonna make me do that? Is that? I guess I could try. I haven't done it yet.
I don't know.
Do a little.
All right, let's cut it. Let's just cut it.
Okay. See you guys next week.
See you guys.